Today we're talking about 5 ways the INFJ gets blindsided by potential. INFJs in general have a high emotional intelligence, and still, we continue to get into situations that aren't good for us. So people take advantage of us, we get into codependent relationships, we, see the potential in a person, and then we recognize with time that it was just something we thought they were going to do, but they never actually tapped into that potential. So we have to ask ourselves, is this really something we should look at? Because on the other hand, we cannot go through life and expect the worst from people. Isn't that part of our character, part of our being, that we want to see the good in people, that we're optimistic? And the fact that we do believe in people, doesn't that inspire them to actually step up, not just for us, but for them in the first place? Well, today we're going to look into this, and I promise you after this video, you will know when you can go into the direction of, oh, I want to believe the best about this person and I want to, give them the benefit of the doubt, or if you're just looking into somebody's potential and you're really ignoring who they actually are right now. Before we get started, I want to remind you that INFJ Epic Life Bootcamp has launched, so you have time to join until August 26th. That's the day we're going to have our first live call. We won't have any late admissions. So if you want to join us in this bootcamp round and be part of our amazing community, now is the time. Everything you need to know, you can find in the links in the description. Number 1, the potential romantic partner. So when it comes to intimate relationships, this is something that INFJs have a really hard time with. It's not, by accident that so often you hear INFJs say they're not happy in their relationships or it's hard for them to find a partner. The reason for all of that is because we actually tend to have a really small circle and we expect a lot from our partner. Is that how it's supposed to be? Well, I dare to say no. Because the thing is this, we expect so much from a partner, and the truth is you can't really expect those things. We want them to be our solution, the things that makes our life exciting, the thing that is, our purpose, our direction. There's so much involved in this. It's not just about saying, oh, I expect a lot from my partner, so he or she needs to be able to understand me, to listen to me, to encourage me, to be loyal. Like, those are normal things. This is not something that is too much to ask for. But what we INFJs neglect very often is that there are so many more reasons which make us attracted to a person. And we have to find out if those are really valid reasons to like somebody. I know what you're going to say, well, I can't choose who I like. But if you really look at it, how often have you been attracted to somebody because of their potential? As in, oh, a life with that person would be exciting. It would get me out of my misery. It would get me out of my boredom. That person could be somebody that I could save. So there's so many aspects to this that the INFJ is really taking into consideration when it comes to finding a potential partner. And so we fall for people who are not good for us. We fall for people who in the end always turn out to be somebody that isn't their potential. Because the truth is this, we cannot trust ourselves in this situation. INFJs are great at seeing potential in people. INFJs are great at projecting what they think about another person, because this is actually our, skill. This is what we're good at. Like, this isn't something that has to be a negative thing. But when it comes to, finding a potential partner, we have to be very careful because we expect so much from that person and we assume they are all those things, and we actually get blindsided to all the signs that they're showing us that tell us that, that person might have potential, but they only have potential from your perspective because you attribute certain characteristics to them that they don't possess. They are actually part of you and not part of them. But for us, it seems like, oh, I'm this way, so everybody is this way. This is not something that happens on a conscious level. It's something that just happens because we're in dire need to get our needs met. So before we actually talk about how to salvage that situation, we have to make sure that we focus on creating a life where we meet our own needs to a big capacity. So think of all the people that you were romantically, attracted to. What attributes did they have? Was it that you thought with them your life would be exciting? That's a good sign that you need to add excitement to your life without another person. Is it that you thought, oh, that's a person that you could help? Well, then look into outlets that can give you an opportunity to help people in a healthy way. So you mentor somebody, you join a program where you become, a guide, whatever it may be. It's one thing to do this and everybody knows what is involved. You're the one who's helping the other person. Like, that's a clean situation. How often did you want to save somebody that you were attracted to? And the truth is, they never knew that. Like, you think they know, but in the end, they probably thought you were on equal grounds. And if you would straight up ask them, they wouldn't tell you, oh yeah, I know that you're saving me. That's not really the case. And that's one great sign of, oh, I'm projecting too much onto that person. And every single time you're projecting something onto them, you're also projecting potential. Because what you're doing there is saying, oh, with that person, I could have fun. With that person, I could have an exciting life. But the question is, how is it right now? So really make sure that you look at it from a perspective of, what if things never got any different than they are right now? Does that person call you the way you want to? Yes or no? Does that person, create a life for themselves that is suitable to be, in combination with your life? Are those things happening right now? And if that's not the case, then it's a sign for you to change your perspective on who that person is. You're not being the bad guy here. You're not saying, oh, I don't believe in good things, or I don't believe that that person has potential. But you have to ask yourself, do I like the person the way they are right now? What if nothing changed? What if they always acted the way they acted today? Is it something that I would be comfortable with? And if the answer is no, then trust me, you could get blindsided by potential. We as INFJs have to be super careful about these things. This isn't just something that applies to relationships. With every single thing we do, we have to ask ourselves, is this an externally observable fact? Is this something that I could tell somebody else and they would agree with that? Right? And not in a question of, oh, do you think they really like me or anything like this? No, the question is, what are the actions? What are the things that cannot be denied? And when you do that, you're not, making the person look bad in front of you, or you're not being, a pessimistic person. You're just looking at the person the way they are. And when you start doing this with the people around you, you recognize that you're probably expecting too much of them, because all of that potential that you see in them is actually part of your potential. Because if we look at the same person and you see some kind of potential in them, I can guarantee you I won't see the same potential in them. It's not possible, because you and me are different people. And so if you see potential in a person and everything that they could be, always remember that is happening through your perspective. So you're seeing something that you could actually live out. That doesn't mean that you would have to live out what they could become, but it's that energy that you feel like they could be. That is something that you want in your life, and it's about time that you go get it and create it for yourself. It's an energy. Look at it as inspiration and then include it into your life. Number 2, the potential boss. So here I'm not talking about somebody who could be your boss. I'm actually talking about a boss that you feel like has the potential to be your mentor, that you have the potential to be able to see what you have to offer. So many INFJs get into situations and they feel like they're doing everything. They're giving it their all. They're putting so much time and effort into it. They're being overly kind. And they want their boss to look at them and say, you are worthy, you are enough. But trust me, if a boss or a superior sees that in you, they will show you soon enough. There are too many INFJs out there who continuously tell themselves, I just haven't shown enough. I just haven't been good enough. I just am not what they're looking for yet, but I can become that. Trust me, it's not. You need people above you who want to see you win, who see something in you right from the get-go. Because if you're fighting against somebody who's, convinced that you're not good enough, that you're just not being the person that they want you to be, you will never win this fight. And it's on us to recognize the situation and not just walk away, but run away. You need people who want to see you win. You need those people above you. You need those people to push you, to pull you, to encourage you. You don't need somebody who continuously pushes you down and you feel like, oh, I just have to prove to them that I'm worth it, that I deserve this. This never works and it's a waste of time. Trust me, INFJs, this is not worth it. Number 3, the potential friend. So how many people do you have in your life that you would consider a friend, but you also think of them as a project? It's nothing you would admit to anybody, of course, but they would probably be somewhere completely in the gutter if it wasn't for you. You're the one who always picks them up emotionally, motivationally, when you start to organize something for them. So many people in our life have become our project. And if we're not careful, we're going to continue to gather people around us this way. And we're going to look at those situations this way. And this is never a healthy outcome. You will get resentful after a while because the person doesn't appreciate what you're doing for them. And the other person will get resentful because they thought the entire time that you were friends on eye level and they didn't recognize everything that you've been doing for them. So what you're doing in the situation is that you believe that the other person will get what you're doing for them and will be then thankful to you. That will probably not happen. That is a potential you see, and it's nothing more than potential because people can only see what you're showing them. If they meet you and from the beginning you're giving your all and there's no sense for them that you're sacrificing a lot, that you're, compromising more than they are, that you're giving 70% into this friendship and they're only giving 30, they will not get it, they will not appreciate it, and it will always lead to some passive aggressive tension. There is no way out of the situation. So what are you going to do? It's on us to recognize that if that person is supposed to be a friend, then you have to be on eye level. That doesn't mean that from time to time you cannot help them, but they should also be able to help you. If you're always the one who's helping them, at least from your perspective, then this is a mentorship. This is a big brother or big sister situation. This is not like a friendship on equal grounds. And if you feel like, well, they just cannot give anymore, then it's on you to pull back. You have a lot to give. Well, give it to somebody who's appreciative of it. Give it to somebody where the outlet is clear, where the dynamic is clear, where the other person knows, oh, that person is helping me. And that person is not under the impression that, you're on equal grounds, everybody's doing the same, and everybody should be equally appreciative. Very often we do this because it's easier for us to focus on somebody else than to focus on our own life. If the other person only gives 30% and you always give 70%, you give all your energy out. So there's nothing left to think about. But if you pull back and you say, oh, I'm going from 70% to 30%, so it becomes like the new 50-50, you will have new energy left. And you'll also feel bored for a minute. And then you'll recognize, oh, okay, I need to use that energy to create excitement in my life. I need to create something that allows me to grow and experience life on my terms without having those intertwined relationships that are not healthy for me. And this, for example, is one of the things we talk about in bootcamp so intensively because for INFJs, this switch is extremely important. Number 4, the potential family dynamic. So we all have family members to one extent or another that are not treating us the way we want. And most of the time we've known those people our entire lives. And so there's such underlying tension because what we want is for that person to recognize that we're worth it. And we have been living out this dynamic since we're small in most cases. So this could be a caregiver, this could be an aunt, this could be a grandma, this could be like an older brother, it doesn't matter. But if you have somebody in your life and they wanted you to be somebody else, then you will have learned throughout the years that you just have to alter yourself. That's the easiest way to do it. That's what we are really good at. And so this is our coping mechanism when we're little, and it becomes our second nature. And so when we are adults, we're still living that out. So we're trying to be that version in one way or another that the other person wants us to be. Or we're rebelling against that because we're saying, oh, you want me to be this way? I'm not going to be this way. One way or another, we're living out a dynamic because of the potential of healing. There's some part of us that believes that if we get, some kind of recognition from the other person, that we are good enough the way we pretend to be. Like we're trying to adapt ourselves, we're trying to play a role, and they say, oh, you're good enough. Or we rebel so much that, at some point we're not going to care and therefore we're going to heal. This is the potential that is in the air. At least that's what we believe. But it's just perceived potential, nothing more. Like, this dynamic will never ever heal you. The only thing that really helps us is to come to terms with the fact that we didn't get what we needed as kids, and we're never going to get it. That person will never look at you and think, oh, you're exactly how I wanted you to be. And it's also not going to help us to rebel against this completely, because then we're going to learn that, it didn't really matter. We have to first feel what happened, feel the grief, live in it, but then please get out of it as well and recognize that you are different. You're not the person that they wanted you to be, and it is painful and it is hurtful, but it's just the way it is, and you're going to be okay. But you have to feel into it. You have to recognize that you cannot play into this dynamic anymore, because this perceived potential is not real. And it just blindsides us from moving on and tapping into the person who we really are. And trust me, we need to be that version of ourselves in order to grow. If we continue to play a role because we think then we're going to be good enough, or if we're not playing this role, then we're not lovable, we're always keeping ourselves in this small box that doesn't allow us to grow. And lastly, number 5, our potential alter self. So this is a version of us that we believe is going to be the version of us that is finally good enough. And not just for family members or for somebody else, but it's this version of us that we want to play, that we want to be. We're so good at this. Like, we try to, get better and get better at this version that seems like, that one version that everybody's going to love. But what most INFJs recognize with time is that we continuously get so good at this that it still proves to us that it isn't the solution. You can play this role perfectly once you're an adult, right? You've had plenty of practice, you're really skilled at it, but what you recognize is you've made up this picture in your mind of who you have to be in order to be liked by most people. And it might even work. Maybe a lot of people like that version of you. And so you're always in this limbo of what you should do. Because the problem with this is that people like you for the role you're playing. And you always will recognize that this doesn't satisfy you. It actually makes you feel disconnected because you're not truly yourself. The thing that will help you in this situation is to remember that you'd rather be disliked for who you are than to be liked for who you're not. Because just because you're great at playing this role, it's still a role. It's not who you are, and it's something you can do. It's not a reflection of your being. And if it worked, if it made you feel good, if it made you feel accepted, I would say fine, go play that role. It's not that hard for you. You've mastered it throughout the years, but every INFJ knows this situation. You might be liked for who you're portraying, but it feels empty. It doesn't motivate you. It doesn't inspire you. You don't want to do more of that. It gives you a quick hit of endorphins, and then you recognize what for. Yeah, I can do this. This is my skill. It isn't who I am. I don't feel connected. I still feel lonely. So it's important for us to recognize that this version that we can play is just a perceived potential of happiness. It is a role, and it will never ever give us the satisfaction and the fulfillment that we deserve, that we yearn for, and that we need. And so therefore, you have to choose you. You have to say, I'm going to show up the way I am, because the other way doesn't fulfill me. Like, I already know that. I'm afraid of being myself. I'm afraid of stepping out and being totally weird and different. But at least you have the chance to have connection. You have the chance to be fulfilled. With time, you will recognize how this is the only path possible. And it's not a question of if you're going to meet people who will like you. You definitely will. But more importantly than that, you will start liking yourself so much more, and you'll keep making choices that prove to you how likable you actually are, because you like who you're becoming. And so I encourage every one of you, please look away from those false potentials that are not giving you the sense of fulfillment that you deserve. Remember, if you want some more help with this process, then join our community. The next INFJ Epic Life Bootcamp has launched. So the first live call will be this Saturday, August 26th. You have time until then to join. Everything you need to know you can find in the links in the description. And if you want to watch another video now that is in alignment with today's topic, then watch the video on the 5 types of people the INFJ can't stand.